All right, welcome back. This is M-Dog. So, I am trolling this giant silicone shad, actually trolling it over the 70-meter hole, keeping it at the bottom, sort of perking it here and there, and we have hooked into a fish. I don't know what it is. But I figured I had heard people in chat when I was streaming earlier, I heard people talk about like that you could troll with these, but it really took some experimentation to even like finally get a bite. This is my second fish trolling. The first one was a cusk, so nothing great, but this one immediately seems like something a little better. Having a hard time maintaining any energy at all, so it's got a little weight to it. Once I saw that I could lock it up without being in too much trouble, I decided to stop the trolling motor and really start just kind of working on seeing if we could just get this fish in without worrying about trolling. I did briefly consider trying to turn the boat around in case the fish was like a big enough fish that it's actually going to run on us with my big setup. But it became pretty, I felt pretty certain that that wasn't the case. So I took the chance by stopping the trolling motor, because it was definitely creating a little bit more force, just trolling in the away from the fish, and the boat takes so long to turn when you're trolling as slow as you are out on this rough sea. So anyway, I guess this is going to end up being a longer video than I initially was thinking it would be, just because of how long it's going to take to get this fish in. Of course, unless it snaps our line, which I'm trying to protect against that. But I mean, this is going to take a long time to get it in. It's 110 meters out, and we're having to use the lower gear ratio. You get a little better sense of what the fish is when you put it back on normal ratio. You see how much bounciness there is. I'd say, well, here's what I'm hoping. If you've been in, watched my stream very long, you know that when I hook into big fish, they're pretty much always halibut. I guess we did have a run of some nice Greenland shark and a couple porbeagle or whatever, but that's a while ago. Normally it's halibut. So I think though, because I was trolling, even though we were trolling at the bottom, because I was trolling and the way this fish feels, I don't think this is a halibut. I'm really hoping it's not. I think this will be a pretty nice fish. I just, we'll see what it is. Hopefully we'll see what it is. I mean, we just now have it at 100 meters, so. Why am I stuck? There we go. Maybe? There we go. Okay, there we go. All right. Let's keep working on it. We're at 90. So I'll show you the lure, and I'll also show you the exact course and technique we were using when we hooked into it. I guess kind of my hope is that even though it might be a really slow bite rate, using these giant shads, especially combining that with the trolling, I'm hoping that really significantly increases our chance of hooking into some pretty nice fish. I mean, that's the only way it's worth it right now, based on the bite rate, is if we're somehow increasing our chances of hooking into some nice fish. So Hopefully that will continue to be the case. But yeah, this is interesting. I mean, I really just am just looking forward to seeing what this fish is, and then also down the line seeing if I can duplicate it. I mean, I really haven't been trying all this that long tonight, but a lot of the time I was trying it, I just wasn't getting any bites at all. Really had to change my approach. I've tried trolling it at different, depths over different either banks or holes or whatever in the ocean floor. And so far in the different experiments I've done, it really seems like trolling it towards the bottom and then perking it kind of as normal while trolling, even though it's still very slow, seem to finally start getting some bites. So, and I've also tried different size lures, so there's a lot of factors, but it's just kind of interesting. We'll see what this is, see if it's worth continuing to experiment with this kind of approach. Well, we're, over halfway in at this point. We're getting there, and really, not that the fish would necessarily get tired that quick, but it definitely has, like, stopped pulling much. It stopped getting close to pushing us into the red. I mean, at first we had a lot of going into the red. So, I mean, I can't believe I'm saying this, but more and more this is seeming like it could be a halibut. The other thing that I'm holding on to hope, first of all, there's several species that I just haven't caught enough of to really be able to recognize them. The one thing I would say, though, like Greenland shark, they get really big, obviously, but they're also very lazy coming in. So, I caught a Greenland shark a little over 100 kilo, and it was kind of like this. Might have felt a little heavier than this, but it was very similar, so I'm holding out hope that it could still be something other than halibut. Not that there's anything wrong with catching halibut. They're worth plenty of silver, even after the nerfs, but it's just fun to see other things. I've been a just halibut magnet lately, so it's fun to see other things. Well, we're 20 meters in now. I mean, we are close. We're at that range where sometimes they'll go on a last minute pull. There's a lot less water between us and the fish now, and it does feel a lot less heavy. So maybe some of the weight of the fish was just having it so far back. I don't know. It was maybe also on the bottom for a while as we were trying to pull it in. I don't know. We'll see shortly. This is going to be a really interesting one. Also interesting, if it is another halibut, do I post this video? Probably. Because really, this is more about, just trying to catch fish, finally trying to kind of figuring something out, trolling these giant shads, right? Oh man, we are close. We are close to seeing it. It's still got a little movement. I'm still going to hold out hope that this is not yet another halibut. All right, we should be able to start seeing it very soon. Some shadows coming right towards us, right? Oh yeah, I see something. All right, what is it? Oh my goodness. It's just unbelievable. Even trolling, we still find the halibut. All right, so let's talk about exactly how we did this. First of all, let me show you the setup. Very simple giant silicone jigging rig. This was on the L33 600 number 9. By far, out of the ones that I have, the 3 that I have, that is the one that I have gotten the most bites on this week. I mean, I think it probably changes, but right now this seems to be one of the better ones. Let's see where we are on the map. So I can kind of show you exactly what I did. Let's see, if I go like this. No, we want to go like this actually. So we're just going to back up just a little bit. So we have as, you know, a pretty nice little stretch here. So we're going 19 kilometers an hour backwards at the moment. I don't anticipate us actually catching another fish. That's not what I'm trying to do right now. All right, we're going to turn the engine off. And to troll, we actually do need to start the trolling motor first. Okay? So we like the direction we're trolling. Now, you could just throw it in right here. In fact, you know, at least as a starting off point, that's what we'll do. But eventually, I also like to sort of stand up. I mean, we've kind of confirmed that we're going the direction we want to go. By the way, I'll show you one thing. Like, it's kind of fun. When I was really experimenting a lot earlier, I was kind of trolling all over the place, and I would try to place my lure kind of at the depth I was seeing the most fish. I still think there might be something to that. I just need to try it more. But I certainly think we know that a lot of fish are at the bottom. It's not the perfect line. We've kind of gotten off course a little bit, but it's fine. All right, is it at the bottom? Yep, so now it's at the bottom. So just like I normally would with perking, we just kind of find a place to get it in the bottom layer and start the perking. Yep, so there we go. Now we're perking. It stays in the bottom layer. Because we're trolling and just sort of pulling away from it, it seems like it eventually gets higher and higher. And so I eventually do need to like open it up a little bit and really get it down on the bottom again. I mean, it's not constantly doing that, but you know, every once in a while I'm finding myself having to do that. So even now we're off the bottom again. Yeah, it's really interesting. And so I'll just have to keep playing around with this and seeing what seems to work the best. But to actually get bites so far from how I've experimented thus far, having it in that bottom layer and, you know, occasionally getting some perking going seems to be the way. So, I mean, we know that we're over a 75 meter bank, right? But our line is actually 105 meters out. Well, that's because we're at this angle, right? We're angling back behind us. We're traveling 3 kilometers an hour forwards, and we're, you know, perking our lure out behind us, angling down to the bottom. Sort of force it out a little bit there. Let's see, can we get, there we go. So now we're getting some perking in the bottom layer, and we're not pulling it out, at least not quite as easily. So this is how I was doing it. And again, very slow bite rate. But I'm kind of hoping between the lure and the trolling, maybe we have a pretty good chance of hooking into some decent fish. I don't know. You know, and the next question is it actually better to troll? Or should we just pick a spot and fish off the side of the boat per normal? I've caught pretty good fish with this lure doing that as well. So I'm not sure that trolling is mandatory, but I did want to just like make sure that it at least could work. And it seems like it can work. It is kind of tricky though. it is a little tricky. Now, my other question is like, how patient would you have to be to not perk it? Just kind of let it sit in the bottom layer and just troll with it in the bottom layer. I just don't know if these lures are meant to present that way. We're going so slow. Again, I can experiment and we'll see. I can report back, but I suspect perking is really helpful in this kind of situation. But anyway, that's how we hooked into yet another halibut. As always, thanks for watching. Hey, let me know how your trolling's going or what you've seen with these lures. But as always, appreciate you watching. See you next time. Tight lines.